My current apartment had a lot of creepy fleep happen when we first moved in 2 years ago. First, it's basically in a cemetery. When we first moved, a body was found in the cemetery like a week after we moved in. I was also having very bad nightmares and we all, 3 other roommates, were hearing weird sounds. Doors would slam shut on their own and open, lights would turn off on their own. You could just feel a presence in my bedroom, and people who came over noticed too. The worst was one day when I was home with my partner. She was in the bathroom and I was in the kitchen standing across from the pantry. I watched the light switch flip down and the light turn off. I froze and then ran to her in such a panic. Another time I was home alone and in my room with the door closed. When I went in, I left the lights on outside my room because I was fleabing scared, and when I came out, all the lights were off and every door was closed. Pantry, bedrooms, bathroom. It was scary, but the light switch really plumbed me up because I watched it happen. Gradually, this stuff stopped happening and it's been a while since any activity. The last memorable thing to happen was hearing the kitchen cupboards and fridge open and close when no one was in there. This happens nightly and I assumed it was a roommate, but when roommates were gone for 2 weeks, it continued. That was last month when they were gone. Since they're back, the sounds have continued, but it's easy to write off as roommates in the night getting snacks and drinks. I've told this in other threads, but this one still gets me. I was around 9 years old and was sick with a fever, so I was sleeping with my mom that night. She had gotten out of bed to brush her teeth, when I very clearly heard a young girl's voice say, "Mama." Mind you, I'm an only child and it was as clear as day. I started noping out, telling myself it was just my imagination. That is, until my mom asked me if I said mama, and then we both noped out. I went to see if my friend Rob wanted to go to a party with me and a couple friends. We pulled into his driveway and my friend, who was driving, got out and knocked on the front door. I was in the back, his fiancée in the passenger seat. As my friend came back to the car, he said, "Lights are on, but I don't see him." We called Rob, no answer. We called a couple more times thinking that he passed out on the couch, still no answer. Then, as we backed up the driveway and pulled alongside the house, we see a part in between the blinds in the living room. There's a boy with short brown hair looking back at me. Before I can react, scream, or say anything, the front seat erupts in panicked shrieks of, "Go! Oh my god," and also screaming. The boy seemed to quickly vanish from sight, restoring the senses of my friend, who peeled out in reverse and got us back on the road. As we went down the road, I thought, I need to make sure they saw what I saw. So I blurt out, "What color was his hair? What did you see?" My 2 friends both described a little boy with short brown hair staring back at them through the window. Rob was finally contacted 2 hours later after multiple attempts to reach him. He was at a movie with his cousin. He doesn't have a son. All the windows and doors were locked. We haven't been able to come up with an explanation. So a couple years back, my friend, younger brother, and me were playing some Wii Sports resort at my friend's house. Everything was normal until we all heard a loud noise coming from my friend's room and he went to check it but soon came back yelling, "We need to get out of here." Suddenly a Wii remote gets thrown across the room and my friend gets pulled down. My brother says something was picking at his arm and began to cry. I headed for the door while grabbing onto my brother, but I felt dizzy as I grabbed the knob and fell down but managed to open the door. We all got out and ran to my house and explained to my mom what happened, which she didn't believe, but she tries to comfort us. Years later, I figured out an old lady used to live in that house before my friend moved in, and apparently died in the house too. My friend moved out not long after and I never heard of anything weird occurring there again. I also asked my friend what he saw in his room and told me in his closet, there was a white figure with red eyes in his closet, staring at him as he opened his closet door. I got some. I don't believe in any paranormal events, but some of them made me question some things. I used to experience sleep paralysis a lot unfortunately, and it was always the same thing. A childlike thing sitting on my chest and screaming at me and pressing his hands on my face, pushing me into the bed. Okay, so at one point I was chill about it. It was scary but I saw him a lot and I was cool with him now. Got used to it. One night, because we had guests over, my older sister was sleeping next to me and again, I felt a sleep paralysis creeping in and before I can feel it pushing my chest, I woke up with a start, saw my sister staring at me and she said go back to sleep calmly. I was like alright whatever. Next morning, over breakfast my sister said, last night I saw a creepy dream. Like, a little kid was in the room, looking at you and suddenly jumped on you. I panicked and told him to leave and he ran away. It was so weird. So, I don't know and I don't want to know what it was. Me and a few friends in OAP were messing around on the stage. No one else was there, because we were all super early. We go on stage and I get a we shouldn't go over there vibe from the other side of the stage. I tell them, and leave. They explore for a bit then come down. Someone brings it up and I get laughed at. They mockingly start trying to communicate with the spirits. Someone says, if you're here, let ya know. Almost immediately, the door on the side of the stage I got the feeling from, slammed shut. No one was over there. I double checked. I've seen some weird stuff in that auditorium. Beneath the stage is haunted AF and I once saw eyes looking down from the rafters, but that is the most unexplainable. I've had quite a few paranormal experiences so I'll try to quickly list a few. This happened when I was 10 years old at my elementary school. I attended elementary school in a very old New England town. I was in class when I had to pee really badly, so I got the bathroom pass from my teacher and I was on my way. When I got to the bathroom, I was psyched to see that I was the only one in there. Because as a child, I hated when other people were in the bathroom with me because I thought it was embarrassing or whatever. It was a 3-stall setup and I chose the middle stall. As soon as I began to unbutton my jean, I heard the most chilling voice, but I could only hear it in my right ear. It was loud and raspy but it also had ASMR qualities to it. Like I could hear a tongue touching teeth as the voice spoke the words, "Get out." I buttoned my jeans back up and oped the plumbus out of the bathroom. I stopped right outside of the bathroom door and heard a loud slam come from inside the bathroom. My first thought, being a stupid kid, was that someone was pulling a prank on me. I didn't wanna look like a scaredy cat, so I turned around and marched back into the bathroom. I tried opening the first stall door but it was locked. I looked under the door and saw no feet, so I crawled under, unlocked the stall and walked out. I tried opening the middle stall, the one I had just fled from. Locked. At this point my heart dropped. Something just felt very wrong. I cautiously looked under the stall to see nothing. I crawled under, unlocked the door and moved on to the last stall. The handicap stall, the stall where the voice had sounded like it came from. I tried the door, locked, looked under the stall, no feet. I repeated my process by unlocking the door and there was no one in the bathroom. And then my heart dropped a second time. It was at this point that I realized that the loud slam I had heard while I was outside of the bathroom was all of the stall door simultaneously slamming and locking. It was ages ago, but I used to sleep in my sister's room because for some reason, my room terrified me at night. Now, every night we had the TV playing some random video to go to sleep to, and after the video ended, it would just be static and usually either me or my sister would go and turn it off or replay the movie. One night, I had been woken up by the sound of static, and so I started to get up to turn it off when, seemingly from the TV, an angry woman's voice screamed at me to be quiet, go back to bed. This absolutely terrified me. I hid under my covers for what felt like hours until I fell asleep again. Now, fast forward about 10 years, I'm talking to my sister while playing some games and the topic of ghosts comes up and we joke around. We never believed anything like that and are still completely skeptical, but I'll never forget the way her face paled after I told her that story and the way my heart raced when she told me that she remembered it too.